Hello and welcome to the Alberta Farm Fresh podcast. I'm your host, Kathryn and I'm the new kid on the farm. As some of you know, I recently joined the Alberta Farm Fresh Producers Association as your new communications coordinator. So hello, officially. Also, full disclosure, I'm recording this intro while being really congested, so if I sound a little stuffy, just pretend it's rustic charm. I promise my voice in this podcast will get better with time. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you to someone truly special, Laura Atherton, the new co-owner of Fieldstone Fruit Wines. Laura is one of those rare humans who's charismatic, grounded, and bursting with passion for community and collaboration. She and her husband recently stepped into the legacy of one of Alberta's pioneering fruit wineries, and their journey has all the makings of a great vintage. Deep roots, bold vision, and just the right hint of serendipity. So pour yourself something fruity, get comfy, and enjoy a conversation that's as refreshing as a glass of Alberta fruit wine on a sunny Sunday afternoon. Let's meet Laura. My first question to you is, can you tell me a bit about the story behind Fieldstone Fruit Wines?
Well, and I think we have a very unique story actually behind the Fieldstone Fruit Wines, and that was probably one of the pieces that made my husband and I the most excited about coming on here as the new owners, is that the Gill family previously, they had been here cultivating the land 30 years. We're 25 years winery, one of the first estate wineries in Alberta. They planted all of the berries themselves. So literally 30 acres of Saskatoon, 7 acres of raspberries. I think it's 3 or 5 acres of strawberries. All was planted by the Gill family. And really, they started out the way many do, is in crop sales, right? They were at the farmers market selling the berries and then attended some of these workshops. And this is, now it seems like a normal thing. But if you think back 25 years ago, the idea of doing something unique in a berry wine, that was something very different. And so they did work with, and we still work with, the same winemaker, a renowned winemaker, Dominic Rivard, and actually helped and worked with the Gill family to create our recipes for all of our wines. And so that's something that we're super excited about. We've been an award-winning winery now for years, on numerous awards for our wines, and kind of building and cultivating to do something on that next level than just having the berries for sale on the U-Pick, which is something we still want to reopen. So for us, we really want to be a place for people to come and enjoy. We want to reopen that U-Pick, and the fact that we have, an end product to create the wine is, an added benefit. But we think the berries themselves have a lot to say.
So a follow-up question. So your winery, so the facility that makes the wines is actually not that part is outsourced. They use your recipe, they use your berries, but it's
no.
Okay.
So we're not outsourced at all. So the Dominic Rivard is basically the renowned winemaker that helped work with us to build the recipes, worked with the Gill family originally, but all the wines are made here on the farm in Alberta. They're made by my husband now. The Gill family is still continuing to help us as we're new owners to make sure that, we are following these recipes, but everything is made here from our berries and with other farmers. And I know one of the other pieces, and you can ask me more, but around what inspired us to become a member is that, we don't believe we have to do everything. Like you talked about collaboration, and that's so important to us. So we have some of our wines are actually made from berries that we don't grow. So that is something that we do bring in, but we want it to come from Alberta farmers that we bring in. So we grow.
It froze. Laura, are you still with me? We left off when you were talking about the fact that the production of your wines is actually done at your facilities. You have an actual winery, and there's just a winemaker master that comes and helps you maneuver the equipment, but the facility is actually on your property.
And even for clarity further to that, the master winemaker, when we speak about Dominic Rivard, is basically I guess to share the fact that we worked with a renowned winemaker to get where we are, and of course have involvement if we're doing a new recipe, and we'll talk further about things like that. But at this point, we're doing it on our own, right? The Gill family is helping. He's the we are actually making the wines. My husband is actually making the wines. And so the winemaker assisted us in those beginning stages and in the recipe and in testing and again in obtaining these awards, which we continue to get awards each year on these wines. So yes, everything is made here and the majority of the berries are grown here. And I think that's also what I was sharing is, about, being a member for us, the association is so important because collaboration is key. And we're not actually growing every single berry that we make in our wines, right? We grow the Saskatoons, the raspberries, and the strawberries, but we don't grow the black currants, for example. So we connect with another Alberta farm for the black currants. And that collaboration to me, same with the cherries. We connect with another Alberta farm for the cherries. That collaboration to me is very important because, people want variety. Our clients want varieties in our wines. But in order to actually cultivate and do the crop of every single type of berry, it will be extensive. And then we really can't be the expert of everything. And then that way, we're actually, I think, giving our clients the best value and collaborating with other farmers where I've got someone who specializes in the cherry or in the black currant. And we specialize really in the Saskatoon and of course the raspberry and strawberry. So that to me is also a really big piece around supporting and collaborating in Alberta.
Awesome. I don't know if you know, and I don't know if it's an opportunity, but we have an extensive network of people that cultivate haskap.
Okay, and that's been coming up on my list a lot. So that is one that we're looking at moving into, and even considering adding haskap plants to the farm, but that will take us some time to get there. So it might be a neat opportunity as a collaboration. So that referral will be great because haskap is coming up a lot and we're being requested a lot for that now.
Oh, nice, nice. It's a beautiful berry. It's so healthy for you, and I'm sure it's delicious. I have not had the opportunity to experience this personally, but I hear really, really good things. And one of our board members, Sam, she's heavily involved in that. I could absolutely connect you with her. She's a wonderful woman to work with. And another thing that you would be probably pleased to know is that the association is connected with the University of Saskatchewan, and they have a whole department that actually tests various varieties of not only berries, but other fruits and vegetables as well, and actually nuts as well. But we're constantly in communication with them, and we're constantly keeping up to date with what's going on, what is new, what are the best practices. So a lot of things are happening, and I'll definitely be keeping you updated with that. Let's focus on that question. My next question is, what makes your farm and wines unique? You touched about it a little bit, but go ahead.
Well, and really that is it, because berry wine is very unique. Having a winery in Alberta is very unique, right? I mean, we enjoy wine. When we first made the decision to purchase and come out to Fieldstone, it was funny because my father said, well, what are you doing buying a winery? The only thing you know about wine is how to drink it. And then I thought later, actually, you know what? That wasn't bad treating because we've been to loads and loads of wineries, mostly obviously throughout BC. So knowing and finding that we actually had wineries in Alberta, which of course now I'm well versed, I had no idea. And so I think that unique opportunity here, and then many people don't realize that, they're like, oh, you can grow grapes in Alberta. I'm like, no, it's not grape wine. So constantly sharing the unique factor of our wines, of the different varietals are very fruit forward. So, it's funny in grape wine, it really masks the taste of the grape. Whenever you're tasting a grape wine, you don't think, oh, this is this type of grape. Whereas with berry wine, it's very unique because it is meant to be fruit forward. You are tasting the strawberry, the rhubarb, the raspberry flavors, the Saskatoon berry flavors are very, very prominent. So it does make the wine very unique, especially for berry lovers, right? And I think even unique as far as, we always talk about cooking with wine. When we're cooking with berry wines, it's very different. Like I did for Easter, we had a piece around on the ham using our strawberry rhubarb wine as a glaze. And we also have a collaboration with honey. So we have bees here. And so with that collaboration, I made this amazing strawberry rhubarb glaze. I have to be honest, it's the first time I did something like this. and it was great. And that's kind of that difference of like really truly cooking with the wine, or even like if you think about a nice dessert with the syrup, right? With some of our dessert wines, obviously are going to tend to be a lot sweeter. On those, you can do them with some really neat desserts. So I think that makes us very unique.
Laura, are you familiar with the grant that is currently available for people that want to create new value added products?
I am not. So
Oh,
and this is again the real, like, I'm so excited to get to know you and be a member, because I think the value we're going to have as membership for all of this communication, because it's so hard for us to stay up on everything, especially as we're learning as new farmers. So yes, that would be, and we're looking at doing additional products and things. So having that information, if you can share with me, will be great.
absolutely. That was one of the very first few meetings I attended. It was it was online, it was a webinar, but basically the person responsible for sharing the information was giving us information on what the grant is and how much money there is and who is eligible. And I think that I just heard from you, I think your eligibility is really, I think you would be eligible for the grant, but there's obviously an application process. I will share that information with you. It's called the value added products, and it's meant for Albertans that are taking a raw product and transforming it into a value added product. So wines, honey, cookies, yeah. And another resource that you might be interested in is that here, and not too far from where I live in Leduc, there's a facility that is sponsored by the government of Alberta. I forget what it's called, but I'm going to send it to you. It's basically that facility specializes in helping people like you develop a product. They have the facilities, they have the labs, they have the resources, and and it's like you can book them for one day where you can talk with different specialists, and they'll help you to bring the product that you have in mind to
That's
an
amazing.
actual product that's packaged, and you'll have your proof of concept. And once you have your proof of concept, now you can go and see if there's interest in the market, right? And once you have your clients, once you have your orders, they actually also have the facility where they can mass produce your product. So,
That's amazing.
and it's all in collaboration with the government of Alberta. So there's sponsorships, there's funding. So yes, there is a cost to the small business to use that facility, but because it's funded, it's way more affordable. And just to give you an example, just from the top of my mind, and it's been a couple of months now that I've met them, but just from the top of my mind, you can book like half a day for $500, and you have access to a variety, like I said, of services and specialists that will take your product from A to Z. So definitely, and this is called I'll find it. It's in my stuff, but let me just take note of this. I'll send you the links and all the information after our conversation. So facility in Leduc for the transformation of food.
That's excellent. Yeah, because we have some ideas, new piece that we want to do. So obviously, we've been doing the fruit wines. The Gill family's been doing the fruit wines for years, and tried and true. We're going to stick with those. We have some ideas of just like maybe some change, some additional. We're looking at de-alcoholizing. So we want, like, one of the big pieces as well, being a winery, but also looking at having some options without alcohol. So that's really important to us. So that's something that I really want to get produced this year before the holidays. I'd like to have a non-alcoholic sparkling raspberry is my plan. And then with that, the other thing that we find, and sometimes a bit of a challenge with fruit wine or berry wine, is because it's perceived to be sweeter. And certainly we are tending on the sweeter side, but like our black currant is quite dry, and so people don't realize that, right? It's very different, and a lot of people might be like, oh, I don't want to try it. So what we've been looking at as well is oftentimes looking at creating that into a cocktail. So I have some very cool cocktail recipes that we've really been playing with. Gill family's been doing things like this, like our stone lemonades, mixing our fruit wines with lemonade, like a raspberry lemonade. It's beautiful. Sangrias, different things like this for years. And we're looking at kind of taking that to the next level. I have our tune mule. So it's a really cool cocktail that we've actually had tested quite a bit that people really enjoy. And it's our Saskatoon wine. It's like a play on the Moscow Mule. So it's our Saskatoon wine with a bit of ginger beer and just a hint of lime. And I'd love to see that tune mule. To me, that's a very Alberta berry, and have those canned on the shelves, right? So that instead of people always having to buy the wine and go home and make the cocktail, it's much more popular now to have these things ready made. Those are some of the product ideas. And maybe that facility you're talking about would help us, because where we're kind of at that stage is we don't know the logistics of like, do we make it here? And then how do you transport this amount of juice of wine to can? Because we don't have a canning facility. Or if we partner with, like, how does that work with a canning facility? So it sounds like these referrals would be very helpful for us as we move into some of these new product offerings.
Oh, it's so exciting, and I'm so happy to hear your story. And by the way, it's so funny that you said that, oh, your father made that comment, like, what do you know about wines other than drinking it? Just that, like last year, even before I joined AFPA, I went to Kelowna, and actually, no, not Kelowna. Today I don't know, I'm blanking. I've been up since really, really early in the
Really early, yes. Now, oh yes, Montley area, yes.
And so I did a wine tour, and I interviewed informally the owner of the winery called Serendipity.
Okay.
You're familiar. And she basically had a very similar story to yours. She's a lawyer by training. And she literally stumbled up, like she got lost in Hermata, and she stumbled upon one winery that was was available to be purchased, and she just decided, like on a whim, to become a winery owner, and that's why she called her business Serendipity, because
that's so cute. It gives me goosebumps, because I mean we have been planning to move, and we specifically wanted Wheatland County. We've been planning to move outside of Strathmore, so we're very specifically looking for the area, but we had a very specific ask, because I have my senior mom with me. She had a number of major heart surgery and some other surgeries. She lived in Ontario, and it was time for us to have her here with us. And she's doing very well, and she's super excited to be out here. But that was the piece for us, was we very much needed a property that had 2 homes, 2 wells, 2 septics, because we wanted to have space for my mom to be here with us. And so we had no idea when we came out to see this property, and we were actually buying a different property, and there were some complications. It hadn't finalized yet. We truly believed it would still finalize, but we thought, well, in the interim, while we're trying to figure this out, this other property came up, and we thought, well, we'll come and look at it. And we had no idea that the Gill family had been trying to sell for quite some time. We had no idea it was a winery, because they had separated the sale, because part of the issue with farm and business is trying to sell agricultural land and a residence, and trying to sell a business portion. The mortgages and the banks don't always like that. So they were having such issues, I guess, with a lot of the people buying, with deals falling through. Anyways, we had no idea they'd been trying to sell. They had almost packed up, believe it or not. They had started to reduce the amount of efforts. They were getting to the point of thinking that they were just going to need to pack things up. And here we came along. And when we arrived on the property, I mean, yes, we were looking to buy a property in this area, but I can't tell you enough on how, like, I just knew immediately that I knew it so much. Like, it was one of those things where I couldn't not do it. Like, I knew this was the next, like, this is the rest of our lives, that I see ourselves growing super old here. Like, this is my home. We knew it immediately. And, it was funny. We're driving up and we're talking about the berries, and we're like, well, maybe we could eat. My husband is so funny. He's like, well, maybe we could even make wine. And we get here and realize it's actually got a winery already. It was unbelievable. And I recognized the name briefly. So my mom had been trying a few wines. So we reviewed the property. I'm stoked. I'm so excited. We get home. So my mom, we were living in an up-down. She was in the basement suite of our home. And that's why we obviously needed more space for her. And I went over and I went into her fridge, because I just had an inkling. And sure enough, believe it or not, there was a bottle of Fieldstone Fruit Wine in my mom's fridge, because I knew she was trying these berry wines. I grabbed it out of her fridge, put it on her table, and I was like, Mom, guess where we're gonna move?
Oh my,
Like it's still it like brings tears, like because like it is such
to be. Yeah, it was yeah to be, right? It's like it's amazing when
I
that.
still can't believe it. Like for us, it's still surreal that we're actually did it, that this exists and that we're here and like the relationships that we're building, having these supports, having conversations like this, the amount of people that I'm meeting, like this is literally I'm living my dream.
I'm so happy to hear that, and yeah, what an amazing story, and how everything kind of it's like the everything pushes you to life pushes you towards something like that, and it's like and everything is like the stars have aligned,
Right? It's like just like that serendipity story. Like it just is something that just pushed through. And I mean, even the timing, we probably would have managed like with my mom in the basement for a few years, to be honest. We were it was manageable. But what happened was they started to develop the house next door to us. So they're putting in, a larger, like an 8-plex unit, which we know they're doing that in development in the city. But I work from home and I didn't want to be living beside the construction as well as then like 8 neighbors instead of one neighbor, parking, all the things that, we complain about when the cities are growing. We understand that that needs to happen, but we didn't want to be there anymore. And that's what forced us, I think, sooner than we thought. And had it not of, I mean, this winery might not even exist anymore. It might have closed up,
Wow.
right?
Oh, yeah, you're basically infusing a new life into that business and keeping the tradition going. I love that. I love that. So amazing. My next question is, what are some of the challenges and rewards of running a fruit winery in Alberta?
Yeah, well, weather. I think the biggest challenge always is weather, right? Every farmer, I always joke now that apparently I'm a farmer now and I have so much to learn, but definitely, some of those things of it is what it's going to be. And I think that support and that collaboration is so key. That's the other piece too around having that. Like if we don't have a crop one year, I mean, we need to be able to look at well, how does that continue then? How do we collaborate with other members and buy Saskatoons from someone else, right? So that we can continue on and have that Alberta fruit. But there are risks that, we may not have a crop or a good crop one year to the next. So some of those challenges, even the challenges for us of just learning all of the pieces, I think, okay, we're gonna plant these 5,000 strawberries, but I've never done any large scale planting. So just wrapping our mind around like, how do we prepare for that? I thought we were going to just water them ourselves. And they're laughing at me because they're like, well, no, we have to irrigate that area. We have to make sure that it's working and the strawberries have to be watered right away as soon as they're planted. And all of these wonderful challenges that we're learning, in that I also see the rewards in it. I think, like I shared, the biggest reward to me is the community aspect. Like oftentimes in our jobs or in different lives, we're so siloed. We're not even really talking to our neighbors, in the cities the same amount. Whereas this is like a complete, like the biggest reward for me is the relationships with our customers, with our neighbors, with other members of the association that we're building. Like that reward, I mean, that's the reason why we're here, right? And we think also to share the space. Like we want to see people come out, like we'll have our grand reopening. So basically our seasonal reopening, as I said, the previous family were starting to, they were really looking to retire. So they really weren't having people coming out to the land, to the winery anymore. They were doing more outsourced at the liquor stores and the farmers markets. And of course, we're still available there for our clients for convenience. But we want to see more where people are going to come out and enjoy the space, bring the family, have a picnic, pick some berries on our U-Pick when they're ready. Maybe we'll have like some food vendors once in a while on a weekend, or just like a really nice place to come and enjoy enjoy the land, have a hike, but then also, hopefully buy some wines. So our grand reopening event is on June 21st. So we will have a party on the 21st to vote. Basically, it's just like a standard winery open from 11 to 5 kind of thing, drop in. And, people can bring their own food if they want, but we will have a food truck here. We'll have a musician here. And we just think it'll be, a lovely day for people to realize that we're here. And that's what we really want people to know is we're here. And then for the summer, all summer long, every weekend, people can come out, get out of the city and come and enjoy this beautiful countryside.
I will spread the word for you, that's for sure. I have a bunch of friends in Calgary, so I will be spreading the word to them, but also obviously to our members and on our social media. If one would like to buy some wine, where would they go? Other than going directly to you?
The direct, absolutely. So I would say the majority of co-ops carry us. So co-op liquor stores very much support local, right? So the majority of co-ops, I'd have to look as far as like, do they go as far as Edmonton carrying us? So those are the kinds of research I need to do. But we are on Connect Liquor. So essentially what that means is if somebody actually has tried us, likes us, and wants us, and their liquor store doesn't carry us, we are on the list with Connect Liquor Alberta. So any liquor store can bring us in. And then we're regularly at 2 farmers markets. So we are in Calgary, we're at the Crossroads Farmers Market and the Calgary Farmers Market West, across the new one across from COP. We're at both of those farmers markets all the time. Like we have a full-time booth at both of those locations as well.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Well, that was it. That was all the questions that I had for you. There's a couple of other questions that I listed here, but you've answered them through the other questions. So we're not gonna repeat ourselves. But yeah, this is so amazing. I love your story. I think I think you have such an amazing energy. And yeah, I wish you so much luck. And I will be definitely supporting you personally. Can't wait to taste your wines. I might even come down on June 21st because I'm in Calgary quite often. So
I was hoping, like, Leduc's not too far. We do some work in Edmonton area as well. So, I mean, that's it. We're Alberta. It would be great to have you. And I appreciate your support and you're reaching out, especially for us as new members or new, again, repeat new owners, I guess. It's a wealth of knowledge with the association. The amount I've been singing the praises, sharing with my husband, the amount of information already, and just really being accepted that I don't feel nervous about asking a question or openly saying that I'm new on something. That has been just very, very supportive. So yeah, thank you and the association very much.
You're very welcome. Another opportunity, a potential opportunity that I would like to share with you is that we often are part of various trade shows and conferences. So if you would like, I can share that information with you as well. So if it's relevant, it's sometimes obviously that has to be relevant to the trade show or conference. But if it is, and if it's something that you would be interested, that's also a really amazing way of connecting with new customers, new potential vendors, right? I usually share that kind of information through our newsletter. And when you signed up with AFPA, I actually made sure that you were subscribed. And I think I resent you a resubscription because the previous owners might have unsubscribed because I had to send you a note.
I have a few things, so I'll make sure. I've got a few emails, so I'll make sure if there's anything. I see login info.
Yeah, I sent you the new login info to go into the back end of the website. Now that you have your resource guide, you probably won't need to log into the website maybe for next season. So we start taking strawberry orders around December. And the deadline is usually beginning of March. So at that point, you'll probably need to go into the back end of the website to make the order. But other than that, really, there's not much need for you to be connecting with our website. The other thing is I sent you the links to all of the upcoming master classes, strawberry master classes. So next one is on June 11th at 7 p.m. It's through Zoom, and we're going to be talking about marketing, bloom management, and pest control.
Going to be amazing. I'm so excited to be part of that and the learning, right? Because that's the piece what I need. And yeah, I didn't see a resubmit for the newsletter when I'm on here, so hopefully I'm on.
I will double check that.
Okay. Yeah, I just searched AFPA to see if there was anything that I needed to do, but I don't see any like check this off kind of thing. So yeah, because I do, but I feel like I'm getting things, but obviously you were sending me information as well. So
before we leave, I will make sure that you're on our distribution list because like I said, the newsletter, this is where we share a lot of the information. So whenever I hear about a grant opportunity that's relevant to our members, I put that there, and all the links are there. If there's any, so if there's training opportunities, if there's any advocacy, I can't say that word from the life of
Advantages. Yeah, you can.
we do a lot of lobbying to the government, right? We push. So what you're currently doing, inviting people to your farm, it's you're part of the agritourism space, and this is a big topic for AFPA. We received $300,000 in grant money in order to push that agenda, and this project is starting now. I have requested some quotes to get this project going. So agritourism is going to there's going to be a little big push towards agritourism. As a matter of fact, I'm actually surprised that, Alberta's agritourism is not developed as much. I come from Quebec, so for me, sugar shacks, apple picking, strawberry picking, petting zoos are a normal thing. Like you do that,
Of course.
weekly, and there's like lavender fields and all these value-added products that stem from all these farms. It's such a common thing in Quebec. It's second nature, really. And here I feel like it's underdeveloped. But with what's happening in the political sphere, I think the sentiment is there, right? Like people want to buy local. People are interested to know what we are producing, and I think going forward there's gonna be less barriers. And one of the things that Cam and our board members are pushing is to create a bill similar to what was created in Ontario, where when you invite people to your farm, you don't necessarily have to have additional specific insurance for that. You can simply add a sign at the gate of your farm saying, this is a working farm. Yes, we accept walk-ins or visitors or what have you, or customers, direct customers, but this is a working farm. Therefore, you need to take certain precautions, because if you roll your ankle on a rut, we're not responsible for it. And that bill, it's Bill 186 that passed in Ontario, and this is what we want to bring here as well, because that would really, that would really reassure a lot of the farm businesses.
And because affordability is the issue, all the costs are going up. So then we need to add extra insurance because we want to open up. And how many people are just going to say we're not going to open up then because we don't want the added risk? So all of those, like these supports, this is fantastic. And all around the agritourism space, that's definitely, and we want to collaborate with that. So any pieces I can do too from my end, and then it's also on who's growing, who else is the association looking for as far as members? What does that look like? How can I support the association there? Because I know, like our collaboration with the Rocking R Ranch, I don't know if they would be part of the association because they are more of a petting zoo farm. They're not doing crop. But then on the agritourism piece, they're doing a lot of different pieces around that. And so we have those collaborations and connections as well, and are building them, that we can help promote what the association could do for them if I understand what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a farm that is providing the service of a petting zoo, it would be right up our alley, right?
Perfect.
Because of the agritourism piece. But yeah, really, any farm, any farming business that is in the fresh products, that's definitely relevant to what we're doing. But we do also have, farmers that specialize in eggs, farmers that specialize in cattle. So it's the bigger that the association is going to become, the more power we're going to have, the bigger our voice is going to become at the governmental level. And that's what we want. We actually, Tam and I, we often go to conferences together. So we're off.
What can we do?
Yeah. How do we create a bigger push in order to advocate for our members, right? And one of the things that we are planning is to associate with other associations in order to create like this big fireball, and then we can.
And it's a huge promotion. Like how many stories when you start these interviews, how many stories are you going to hear of farms that are struggling, farms that are considering closing, situations like ours, where literally there wasn't going to be anyone to take the torch. And just at the very last minute, we found each other, which is amazing. But, how much more of this is going less when what we want to be doing is supporting local and having healthier options when we're looking at what's out there. I love this. I love the association. I love what you guys are doing. I'm, available to support in whatever way. But I'm so glad we are connecting, and I look forward to meeting you in person when you do come out this way at some point, I'm sure. And we'll do, whether it's the 21st or anytime though, right? You're always welcome. Yeah. And if there's anything else you need from this, as you kind of go through it, or any questions, of course, to reach out to me, or any photo, video, anything like that. I have lots of different things that if you think it would be valuable.
Sounds good. Thank you so very much. For the strawberry, since you're such a great speaker and you're such a accomplished business woman, for the upcoming strawberry class, I am looking for panelists. And I'm going to be presenting the marketing piece, but I'm going to be presenting the theory, whereas I would like to have these panelists that could be answering some questions and just giving their experience. And since you have so much experience in that field, perhaps you would be interested in speaking at that event.
It's so funny. I think when I think of it, I think my girlfriends are teasing me. They're like, did you get stolen out to the farm? Are you okay? Like, I've been perceived as a city girl most of my life, but that doesn't mean anything. The marketing side, I mean, by no means am I a guru, but I think when we look at our realm, especially in the farming industry and agriculture industry, marketing is a huge thing that's being overlooked.
Yes.
And that's definitely an area that I'm pushing hugely. So I would be more than happy if, as a panelist, answering some questions or providing maybe some of our experience and what's worked, what hasn't worked, or what we're still trying to learn. If you think it's valuable, I have no problem at all. Yeah.
A huge thank you to Laura Atherton for sharing her inspiring story and infectious energy with us today. It's so exciting to see new life being poured, literally, into one of Alberta's pioneering fruit wineries. If you have a story to tell, a passion project on your farm, or just want to share the amazing things you're doing in Alberta's local fruit scene, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out. My contact details are in the show notes below. Until next time, keep growing, keep sharing, and stay farm fresh.